Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D 4X today, like I do on pretty much all weekends. I think I've missed like one or two or something uh, from like Thanksgiving or something. I don't remember. Anyways, this is an open source game that I'm probably gonna release it for free. That's always been the plan. But I was thinking like there's like that negative connotation for free games now because they're like shovelware. I guess I don't even really know what shovelware is. Uh, I'm trying to get this other chat to appear. It's this weird thing that takes a while for it to show up. Anyways, it's so that I can see chat. I talk about this every goddamn stream, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up. Anyways, so we've been working on getting these little buttons. It's a post-apocalyptic 4X game, and we've been working on getting these little buttons to work so that like you can tell them to scavenge and you can tell them to work, and we need to add some more buttons and etc. etc. And god damn it. This is the one. I want this button. This one right here. There we go. And, I was thinking, like, basically this morning, when I was half waking up, I was like, man, there's so many things that I want to do in the future that are going to require. So these are Brandon King here. He is the faction leader, but they're broken up into two different types. There's two types of leaders. There's army leaders and there are normal leaders. And the idea behind that was that so it'd be easy. So if we go back to here and we make him an army leader, let's hope that all this shit works. And then we spawn him and then we move him. I swear these are always on the opposite side. Because he's an army leader, the minute we move into this other county, because this is different factions. These pink ones are different factions counties. The minute we move in, we're declaring war on them, and there's a bug. This is a tooltip. That's always nice. I was testing how tooltips works many days and months ago, years honestly. But there's a bug. Let's put that in our spawned heroes in response to war declaration aren't showing up. We didn't actually get a bug though. We didn't get a thing. I wonder what happens if we move over there. It still thinks, yeah, it's missing like a texture or something. These are backwards. Look, it's saying that some textures are there. When I clicked on this, what happened? Nothing? Good. It's not supposed to do anything. Anyways, let me add this in. Did I add it in? There it is. We're going to have to figure this out somewhat soon. Anyways, so, Single Wings, how's it going? Let me move this to the top. How's your game jam? Game jam. So anyways, I was thinking about this whole thing. And now that I moved him, we can't see what he can do because he can't do anything over here. Let's restart so I can see this stuff. What's this weird little mute symbol on? It's gone now, but on Stinkawink on to the left of your name on chat. You can see it on the screen there. Here, I'll use the mouse. This thing. What's this little mute symbol? What's lurk mode? I've seen people like in chat do exclamation lurk before, but I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, that crazy snow. Oh, is that what that means? Oh. Does it say that like when I guess I've never noticed it before. Does it say that when you have a muted or something, like when you mute on Twitch? How does it know that there's no sound is what I'm wondering. Yeah, that snow is crazy in Florida. Snowing in Florida. Anyways, so Oh, you have to turn it on to like mute mode. Interesting. To lurk mode. Is that what the exclamation lurk does? Uh, or is that just, I don't know. So with these things here, so that the main use was I was thinking we would have armies set up and then we would muster and blah, blah, blah. But I was thinking that it's kind of useless to have two different settings because there's going to be some things that you do. So when you like, these guys can have bodyguards. So think dominions. In dominions, you can have a leader that has all these troops with them, and some of them are just like bodyguards, some are whatever, an actual army. Some of them are scouts because you're going to fly that army in, because in dominions, some factions can fly. They can fly in and they can scout. Some of them can are stealthy, so they can stealth in and scout. They can walk in to other places and scout. And so there's all these different things, and that doesn't distinguish between the two. It's what they're doing that causes the war declaration, basically. And I was thinking maybe we don't want to have two different things, because otherwise we're going to have these muster buttons and weird things for we're going to have duplicate buttons. Anyway, long story short, I don't think we want to have army leaders and aides. And I literally started thinking about this morning, and so I haven't put much thought into it, but I have a feeling that we don't want that. We're going to want two different rows of actions, of activities that they can do. And they'll just, if they're I got to think about this for a second. If they are an army leader, even though we're not distinguishing, they'll need to muster troops, and they can train their troops, but their troops can also be bodyguards only. And the other thing, so let's say they have 5, because there's only 10 people in the whole population. So let's say the leader has 5 people that are. So one of the things I want to do is having the diplomacy, the ability for someone to travel over as a diplomat, but they would bring with them the troops as bodyguards, so that betrayals could happen and stuff. But there would be a point where, if there's only 5 people living here, or here, one of these, there's only 6 people here. If you move a leader with 6 people in, that's going to cause diplomatic, that's equivalent to everyone that's there. It's too many people. So we would need a way to adjust how many people they can bring with them, and then also how much impact on diplomatic relations. Having 1 bodyguard is fine, but having 6 bodyguards or 10 bodyguards is strange, because you can do a betrayal later. It's just, I wonder if I should continue doing what we're doing now. Well, there's one thing we got to do anyways. So let's do this other thing first, because it won't affect what we were doing. Maybe I'll think about it. So this is a different problem. It's this one right here. We need the build activity. And I don't remember if I got a graphic for it last time. I don't even have my C# shit open here. Let me do that. I feel like I've asked about that mute thing before. Other people in chat, I'm just like, what is that? What do we need here? Hero panel container. That will probably get us to where it takes a minute to actually. I did it twice now, so now we're gonna get 2 of them. Yep. It's that thing, you don't get any feedback that the first time worked. And I did test out the new, so I get these weird errors on the new version of Godot, and I tested it out a little bit and fucked around with it. It just goes away on its own eventually, and I think that's strange. So I still haven't upgraded, but I plan to. Maybe tomorrow I'll do it, and I'll just struggle through that shit. What the fuck was I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was going to look at graphics, see if we downloaded work. I don't think we did. I vaguely remember looking at the icon site, but graphics, we're almost top bar, population, heroes. We did. What is it? Oh, it's that. Build. No, we need build. Work, muster, train, scavenge. All right, so we need a new icon here. This actually can stay here. Icon. Build. What do we got? We got some cubes. This one's probably it. This is what this thing's huge. What's going on with this page here? And then we're gonna, oh, it looks like I already did this. Did I download this and not do anything with it? What is it called? Concrete bag. I'm searching over here. Concrete. Man, Windows search, file search is like the worst. I don't know how they made such a shitty system after all these years. And it's got to index that crap all the time. There's always index issues. I mean, we're just sitting here waiting. It says it's doing something. Maybe it's doing something. I don't know if it's doing anything. We'll never know. Fucking Windows. I don't think it was doing anything. So I downloaded this like 6 months ago. And it looks like that's the one. I wonder what command line on Windows, is it better? Or is it equally shitty? In my work, they often request crazy shit. They're like, hey, can you search for this file that we know that Bill edited sometime in the last 10 years? I'm like, what's the name of the file? I don't know. What's the context? Is there a word that we can search that? Yeah. You can search the word build. Like, you know how many files will come up with the word build in it who were edited, modified by Bill in the past 10 years? Well, just look through them. No. It's crazy. Lord Mac, how's it going? It's same with the emails. So many recently. So I'm always saying we need to narrow the search results down. And so, like, who's it from, who's it to, date, period, and then like something in the subject line that we can search to. And I think they took that the wrong way, because they're like, okay, so can you search for this email that could be from Bill to Jack or Jill or Fred or Sam? And then they're like, the subject line's going to be build, and the time period's going to be between January 2020 to January 2021, or January 2022 to January 2023. And it's like that, like, and then, I'll do like a test to show them, like, okay, here's the 10,000 emails that you got. And they're like, well, just look through there and read which one is about a plumbing issue. And I'm like, you know how many plumbing issues are going to be in there? Come on. It's crazy. I don't think they understand the sheer volume of emails, but I'm getting sidetracked here. All right. So I think we can put this build thing. We'll do that because that's not going to have an effect. I downloaded it. I got to edit it here. I don't know why. I feel like I already did this somewhere, but I don't see a concrete bag. I mean, I could have renamed it. Maybe I downloaded it for something else. A different oh. There it is. Oh, it's on the top bar? Building materials? Will that be confusing? I don't think it will be that confusing. It's good enough. So we're gonna copy this. I don't know if this is gonna work actually. And is this the right size? No. All right, let's open up this one and we'll edit it, because I remember how to do that. I think. All right, first thing, we select all. We go 26 by 26 here. And then we go to our document properties or something. And we tell it that it's 26 by 26. Then we'll save as. I guess this is fine. We'll call this build. I had some other name, some other aid box build. And then I'm using my downloads folder as my like work folder, like my whip folder. Where is it? Come on. Where did I save it to? Come on, downloads. Oh, we have a search result going on here. There we go. All right, back over to here. Click on this puppy. Drag this over. Yeah, I think we're gonna want to get rid of army, the concept of army leaders, and just have one type of leader, and then you'll just tell them. One of the key things I want to do, I want to have, and this is like kind of like from Hearts of Iron, is I want to have it so that you can see the enemy building up troops on your border. That's like a key thing, because I think that that's important to know that you're gonna get attacked or whatever. And that's one of the things where we've talked about a bunch of times, is maybe making these smaller so they can build up on the, like there's a border, or like have a border province like between here to here. They would actually move to like a spot here, and you could see the ones that are at this spot. But if they're at their home base, you can't see them. But so that would give you more time. And once they declared war, to like get your act together. And right now they just automatically spawn, but we're going to change that eventually. Everything's going to be changed, and that's kind of what made me think about this too. Is I was like, oh, we're going to need to rewrite most of this, and I was like, man, I don't want to set myself up to rewrite everything. Let's try to make it. I mean, I know everything's going to have to be rewritten anyways, but let's try to make it as painless as possible for when the rewrites come. Like everything's kind of a foundation set up so that it's not just complete crap that we have to, throw out and start over again. I see something bouncing around over here. I guess it's this cord. So that's why I was like, in reality, the army leader thing doesn't work as well as I think it should. And if it's more like Dominions, then where there's just a leader. Faster. Sorry, I didn't see this other one. Faster results, but not better. No, there's a lot of weird stuff. You switch to Unity, yeah. There's a lot more tutorials for Unity. The main issue I have with Unity is just their corporate structure is pretty shit. And I feel like the people are not all of. There's more people who use Unity, and it seems like the assholes stick out. That Kurt guy, I was actually thinking about him the other day. Like, what is his problem? If you search in the Unity forums, there's a guy named Kurt. He's very knowledgeable about Unity, but he's also a fucking asshole. So let's see here. What am I doing? I'm still getting warmed up. So we're gonna need another checkbox here. We can just duplicate this work one. Let's duplicate this. We'll rename this to build. You'll see him if you'll notice him one day in the oh, I forgot a key component to this name here. 26 by 26. I like to be able to see the size of this stuff without having to open it up. So then we'll copy this into there. And this thing is not going to work though. Oh no, it is going to work. But I just fucked up all the bindings. 0, 1, 2, 3. Did I hit connect? Yeah, all right. And then you're going to be 4. And then these ones we didn't connect to anything yet. What if we turn both these on? What does it look like? It's a lot of choices. Look at these bugs we're getting. What does it look like when we run it if they're both on? Oh, I think these are going to turn off. If I did my job right, one of these will turn off. The army one will turn off. It didn't. That doesn't look that bad. It's bigger. What happens if we make another one? I must not have done my job right, by the way. It's kind of a lot of choices. The way Dominions does it is you like click on them and there's this giant list of shit you can do with them. And you only use like 2 of them, 2 of the options most of the time. And that's a possibility. We can put like a right click list. But I don't think this is the end of the world. You're going to have to learn what all these stupid icons are. But we do have tooltips on all of them. What is this one? This one has the wrong tooltip. This one should have the wrong tooltip too. Let's fix the tooltips. I think we're gonna have to look up. I think we're gonna have to go into our whatchamacallit, localization file. Which is somewhere. Fuck my projects. Here we go. Localization. Oh, that flashing thing. Well, I guess I haven't upgraded. Word build is what we need. Word build. Doesn't look like we have it. So let's add that puppy in here. Feel like I should have that. Whoops. Build. Whoops. And we're gonna translate this. Bring this over here. And then we're gonna go back over to our tooltips and we're gonna fix this one tooltip. Tooltip. This should be word train. And I don't have word train yet. Word train. Train. Whoops. Now, does it know that which train I'm talking about? Does it think I'm talking about train as in the actual train, choo-choo train? Or does it think I'm talking about training someone in Spanish? I don't think it is. This is my localization. This is my localization spreadsheet. So here's English, here's Spanish. It's built in. It will translate this stuff to Godot. It's built into Godot. As long as you do it right. And you can like switch in here. If I click on the right area, if I go to like project settings, I've already forgotten. I think it's, localization. You can change it to Spanish. And so that and there's another way you can do it too with, I can't remember what it's called. Pot. generation where it will like go through the game and try to like find the stuff what needs translating. And there's like this some sort of pot thing, which is that's like a pot file or something, which is what translation programs use or whatever. And that's I originally was going to use that, but then I found that it's just easier to do it with a spreadsheet than the pot thing because you have to have like a pot. A pot. Yeah. This is. I don't. I think it's thinking I'm talking about a train. So what happens if I just put train in here? So it, but is it the name? Yeah, see, it thinks it's, no. Train someone. See, I don't think this is right either, but I'm just going to do it. We're just going to copy this. We're going to make this a capital though. And you can put like symbols and stuff, like variable symbols, like percentage s is like get the string or whatever. But I've been trying to avoid that. That's my goal, is to avoid that crap. So then we need word. We need word. It doesn't make like a dinging noise when you have a, you know, like in normally Windows, if you have a window open that is requiring you to do something, it makes a dinging noise. Godot doesn't do that. Tooltips. Explore. No, see, this is wrong too. This is should be muster. Did we put muster in here? I don't see it. Muster. We're gonna hope that that's right. Somebody who speaks Spanish is gonna, is gonna look at this and be like, holy fuck. You have so many things wrong. All right. And then muster. Then back to this. This one should still be explore. Research. Work. Build. And then work. Scavenge. Did that say work? Yeah. Then we're going to save this shit. We're going to save this shit. We're going to close this. We're going to re-import this because otherwise it's busted every time. And then I'm like, why isn't this translating? And I wonder why. There we go. And this stupid thing, like every time I start the goddamn program, I need to silence this. I want this to go away. Yeah, I haven't loaded up Unity in a long time. I don't plan to, but I still have it installed on my computer for, do I have it installed? Yeah, I have it. Well, I have a Unity hub because I do have some old code that I might look at some point, even though I seriously doubt it. I've moved almost all of it to Godot. All right, so let's rerun this and make sure these tooltips are working since we're here. And then we'll add, well, we added the build thing, but is it showing? We'll make sure that build is showing correctly. And then we will make our decision. Are we getting rid of, there's our build. Let's go through these here. Scavenge, work. This is a terrible icon for scavenge. Work, build, research, explore. That's pretty bad, one of those too. Muster, train. Because you could train your bodyguards too. You know, I was looking up something earlier, right before I streamed, and I was hoping I still had it open, but it doesn't look like I do. It said the C# version of Godot doesn't support web stuff, which would be a real setback in your case, because you know, like your game is for web stuff, and I feel like though I've seen C# web stuff with Godot, but maybe I'm misremembering. All right, so we need to. This is setting their activity, but we don't have that activity. So this comes down, and we need to set this to like build. Let's copy this. Let's put this. What's the laziest way to do this? I guess we can just add a thing at the bottom here, and we'll put 4. And then this is scavenge, work, build. there are some people who are there. That's a common thing, especially with Godot. What I deleted one, and research. Like, I don't know if this is the easiest way to do this, because then I gotta remember what the fuck I was doing. Wait, work, build. Wait, what's going on here? Scavenge, work, build, research, explore? Is that a thing? Scavenge, work, build, research, explore. Perfect. I'm always like, wondering if I should mess around with some web stuff, but all I know is C#, and I don't even know that very well. And it's like, do I want to? And I did mess around with some JavaScript back in the day, but it was just a little bit, and I didn't quite understand these like with the period thing, and JavaScript has the same thing if I remember correctly, like what that meant, because I was a complete noob. I watched somebody for like 5 minutes before I started streaming, and they were doing some web thing, and it's just such a pain. Like this, you just got to get it to run on your computer. Web stuff, you got to fuck around with servers and stuff, and oh my god, everyone says you got to use React. I don't know, is that still a thing? Is React still the thing? Or you're a loser? If you don't use React, you're a loser. It's probably moved on from there. Now you're a loser if you don't use something else, some other web thing. That I feel like that's another thing too, is like the infrastructure. Node.js, I don't know, is that just JavaScript? There's like, you got to keep up with that stuff. All I got to do is upgrade Godot. React is still the thing. All right, so let's see. These things, though, are going to throw bugs. We really got to make a decision, and when I say we, I mean me, on if we're just going to get rid of the the army leader concept, and everyone will have the same abilities to be an army leader. Because, like, also, like, if we added raid to this, the example, where we're going to raid the neighbors, you're not declaring war, but you're going to use your troops. See, this is what raid is, the thing that really throws it all into like a gray area. So you're a normal leader, you got your troops with you, which could be your bodyguards, and you decide you want to raid the neighbors. Do you need to set that as an army leader now, and then you're raiding, but you're not declaring war? Because you're not declaring war, but it should piss them off that they're getting raided. But how do they know who's raiding them? Like, are they stealthing in there? Like, I think it should just be one type. But the problem is that if we make it one type and later need 2, then we have to go back. I think I might be overthinking this. Let's see what happens when we do this. Yeah, like then there's stealth, like the stealth if they're raiders, like, and then they get found out by, like, if you think about like Vietnam, the war, not the country, where like there was the actual army, and then they were infiltrating from, the north and whatever. Exactly. With the perception of like, hey, is this just somebody stole some stuff, or are we actually being raided? Like, there's all that, like, and then what are the troops, and is it an army leader? Because if you saw that it was an army leader sitting next to you, you'd be like, oh, this guy can raid us, and he's raiding it. But that, you kind of want that. Yeah, the whole thing is a clusterfuck. Anyways, he's set to scavenge, which is what we want. Now let's set him to here. He's set to work, which is what we want. We can do this part. This will have no effect on my thought process here. He's set to research is what we want. No, he's not. He's set to build. And it says now he's set to explore. What's going on? Oh, there's something broke here. Let's look back at our signals. I have a feeling it's our signals. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's passing. Deselect all of them. So let's try this again. So scavenge. Like, when does this thing go south? Work. I think it's on build. Yeah, so for some reason, is this not saved? Did I not restart it? Everything looks saved to me. I still gotta check out Rider, too. Gotta check out Rider. I gotta upgrade to the newest version of Godot. Wait, if you're using Unity, then you gotta use C#. Don't you? Let's see. Scavenge. Work. Build. Maybe I didn't rerun it. I think it went set. Yeah, I can't click on this one. We were going to set it. Did I write that? I didn't think I wrote the code. Is this disabled? I can't tell. Well, then we got other problems here. Index is outside. Oh, I know what the problem is. We got to drag this puppy in here. For that part, at least. See, this is the downside of dragging and dropping shit in there. So you already know like JavaScript pretty well, right? I assume from watching your stream. All right, let's see now. We don't need to test all these. Work. Is C# in JavaScript like an easy switch between, or is it like, holy fuck, why did they do this? All right, now this is working. And this is research. Let's double check because I was only half paying attention there. That's build. And then this is explore. Then these shouldn't do anything. Yeah, that doesn't do anything, which is what we want. I mean, not right now. So we would put those. Yeah. I'm still like, should I just do this right now? Should I just get rid of the army leader type? It feels really like that's what the case is going to be. So you set the guy to, you know what, like, we don't have to worry about that yet. I can kick that down the road. So let's fix this stuff. Let's go back to here. We added build. Here, we can keep on task here because I like to do that. I like to get sidetracked and just think about how things work. We did that. And then never do anything. We'll fix that in a second. Okay, so this is the thing I was talking about in the title. I think I remember reading that C# was trying to emulate JavaScript, or it was Microsoft was trying to make their own JavaScript, like their own copyrighted version of JavaScript or something like that, because they wanted to own the copy or something. They wanted control and they couldn't get control of JavaScript. You know how these fucking programmers, man, they're crazy. They're having their own backstabbing wars in the GitHub comments. You know, they get very excited about stuff, and they like to fork stuff too. You know, there's like a lot of forking going on. Spawn heroes in response to war declaration. Exactly. It's, you know, I sometimes look at like the drama that goes on. I mean, there's that famous guy who wrote, I think it was for JavaScript or Node or whatever. Those are like connected, I think, and I just keep acting like they're different. Where he had written something and he asked for donations and everyone like shit all over him. So he's like, I've been maintaining this thing that's required for everyone to use for years and no one will pay me any money, so fuck you guys. And everyone said he was a piece of shit, but in reality, like the poor guy's been, you know, maintaining this library and no one cares, but if when he takes it down, like everything will break. And yeah, and like I like reading about that drama sometimes because it's interesting, especially because sometimes the public perception changes of the person. So at the beginning, everyone's like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. He wants money for his work. Fuck him. And then like people start reading about like how long and how much required and like giant corporations are using his code for free and all this stuff. Then they're like, well, maybe he kind of has a point. You know, and he put in when you like compile, I don't know what the fuck it's called. When you run Node, it had like a one line that said, "Please send me some money. I'm starving to death." You know, and it would say that, and that was what caused the con. You can't do that. You can't put that in the code. This giant corporation is using my code for free, and everyone should be okay with that. No, they should pay him royalties or something. But whatever. Set a hero to research causes this error. We're going to get to there. Check to make sure is available for each button. If the activity, this is the real thing that we're going to work on here. It's these two things for today. I know I'm completely sidetracked, but these are the two things that we're going to really, just because this error, and then we'll get this error afterwards. So what we need to do is, and what this means is like, if you can't, so there's no, research is the main one. So if there's no research office, oh wait, we were just, motherfucker. Last weekend I was like, oh, they can't pick research because there's no research office. But the whole point of, oh my God. The whole point of, I forgot about this last weekend. We were going to have it so that heroes could research without a research office. So it'd be like a bonus that they could still get it. The research office was required for normal population to, oh, Jesus Christ. But anyway, so maybe this is easy. So we got to look. Can they always scavenge? Is there a reason they wouldn't be able to scavenge? I don't think so. Can they always work? This is not true. So sometimes if we go to here and there's nothing built, they can't work. So we need to check that there is an ability for them to work. So when we set this, we need to do like a check. It's actually not when we set it. It's when this thing appears, we need to disable it. So we're actually in this container. So when this happens, no, we're in the wrong thing though. We need to go to our, I believe it's this script right here. So when this one, do we have like, oh, are we in that's the same script? Button pressed, deselect. Okay, so no, we have another, it's county info thing. Not here. Not there. It's this. It's like a sub part of this. We want to, well, I have to do this every weekend where I have to remember how my program, like the things that I worked on last week. It's not this. It's one of these goddamn things. Uh, I feel like it's this one. It's when it instantiates. We're going to need to instantiate. Oh, here it is. Update hero info. Here's our hero prefab. What are we calling it for some reason? Populate activity H boxes. Okay, so we're missing one. Activities, build. What we can actually do here is cut, paste, cut. We need a return in there. Paste, and then paste. And this is going to be 4. This is going to need a return, maybe. So, Wix, that snow isn't still there, right? It's melted by now, I assume. Scavenge, work, build, research, explore. See, I hate these using numbers like that because I'm just guessing that those are the right numbers. Populate activity. So this is going to populate it if they're already set to it. So when you close and open. Man, that's like a week or something. Was that last week? Like when that shit happens in Portland, the world implodes. Everyone's like running around screaming. They just abandon their cars. I'm not even joking. If it snows in Portland, people abandon their cars on the road and just start running down the street. Who knows where they're going? It's the craziest shit. Everything turns off. Tuesday midday, so that's still a long ways, 4 days, 3 days. How do you do basic math? Okay. So what was I doing before I started yammering again? We need to add build once the checkbox is in play. We just did that. So what we need to do is, it's actually not this. Where is this thing? Populate, it's this big, ugly thing. So on here, we need to have some sort of check where if there's no way for the, all right, we're gonna also need to have, so heroes don't work in research offices. That's the key. That's one thing. Let's put some notes in here while I'm thinking about this because I'm all over the place today. Heroes don't work in research offices. Building a county improvement with workers must exist. This is for this is for work. Building will be something else. A county improvement with workers must exist. It doesn't matter if there's people in there because it. It does. Heroes don't work for the man. The man. I work in, IT guy, but for a property management company, so I work for the man. Heroes don't work in research offices. A county improvement with workers must exist. And because storage is the storage is. What's our other? Let's look over here. I want to make this so that it doesn't collapse once we add a new type of thing, which it will, but we want it to somewhat not collapse. We're way too high up here. Warehouse, fisher shed, garden, lumberjack station, research office, scouting. Okay, so I think those are the two things. So then on here, we need to have a new thing. Check for available activities. And then we're going to go like this. And then we're going to copy. We don't need this. We're going to copy. I put this right here. We're going to copy this inside up here. So the first thing, where's this button? Okay, spawn hero button. All right, so it's part of this prefab. So how are we going to check? So we're going to have to go through the list of completed for each county improvements. And do we know the county? Looks like we do. Completed county improvements. And I think we might be able to hit this with one fell swoop, maybe. I was reading this, it was a Reddit thread about AI, and I'm trying to, somebody posted like in the game development subreddit that they were trying to learn game development, but it was very difficult for them, and so they've been watching tutorials and using ChatGPT to learn how to code. And I was a little bit surprised by the number of people who were just like, do not ever use ChatGPT. And there was other people who were like, I write my code and then I copy and paste it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT if there's a better way to do it. And they're like, and sometimes it puts out a much better response, and then I learn something from that, which is what I do. And there were people who were just outraged. No, you can't do that. ChatGPT is full of shit. Don't ever listen to him. And it was crazy. And I understand where they're coming from. They don't want AI to take their jobs, because AI shouldn't take everyone's job, but that's what's going to happen anyways. Even though they're going to do a much worse job, and we're going to have to hire people to handle the AI. Like the AI is gonna replace a programmer, and then they're gonna hire another person that handles the AI. So they're not gonna actually save any money, but they're gonna be like, we have 65 AI employees and another 65 people that just handle, write prompts and deal with the AI. Is what's gonna happen. Actually, they'll probably have 65 AI employees, and then they'll have 63 other employees that are AI wranglers. So they'll be like, and we saved the cost of 2 people. But anyways, so I understand where they're coming from, but I think they're being closed-minded, and I also think that they're forgetting that you can ChatGPT does explain what it does, and it's not always right. It's often wrong. I'm not a proponent of AI. I think AI is gonna be bad in the long run. Wow, how's it going? See, that's the thing I was talking about earlier, the exclamation lurk. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know that they're lurking, but is it supposed to do something? Should I have a thing that exclamation lurk does something? No. All right, so we have county improvement data, and it's going to go through each one. I can add it. Is that something I should be putting in there? Because I have a bot, it's just not, or a thing. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Oh man, after all these years, I didn't know that. Man. Well, thank you for supporting me from the shadows. I will say it. I'll say it and then I'll add it in there at some point, unless I forget. Okay. So it's gonna look at the county improvement. So let's do this again. So the reason I was bringing up ChatGPT and all that nonsense was because I'm gonna write this out in little chunks again, and then we'll copy and I didn't do this last time, even though I said I was going to. We'll copy and paste it into ChatGPT and see if there's a better way to do it. If it can condense my code. So the first thing we need to check is these 2 things. So we need to go through all the county improvements. No, there's a better way to do it. I was going to say go through all the county improvements, and if there's a research station, say that no, it's inactive. But actually, we go through all the county improvements, and if we just find one that has the ability for somebody to work there, then we make it enabled. So at the beginning of this, we'll disable all of them. All of them? We'll disable some of them. And we do have these, so putting this in an array actually looks like it's working out here. I wasn't sure if that was going to be. So we'll disable most activities button checkbox is activity. I think we want activity. And then we'll generate this thing. We'll get rid of this. We'll go for each. We're going to skip the first one. For each checkbox in checkbox. Oh my God! Learn to type, please. In hero prefab. Wait, what? I'm making a 2D 4X game. It's post-apocalyptic. It's inspired by like Dominions and the like Paradox games. Hopefully. I've set myself quite the challenge here. This thing, what is this hero prefab? It's a hero panel container. So we need to pass this in here. Hero panel container. Like, I don't know. It's way above my skill level because I'm still just learning. But I figured I'd give it a shot as I learn. Yeah, they do. They, I have my little, we'll get there. We could use this button, I guess. A little button down here you can click to show your desktop. This is my like Paradox list of games there that I like occasionally load up, and I loaded up Europa Universalis for the first time in a while. And I was playing Lido. Thank you for the support, the moral support. I appreciate it. I was playing as Norway, and I was getting a little bored of Norway, so I switched to China, and I was like, I restarted a new game as China, and it crashed when I invaded Korea, and I don't think it like that. I like me invading Korea. I don't know. I don't have that much DLC. It could be this computer. This computer's on its last leg. Yeah, Crusader Kings 3 is pretty fun. It's too easy though. I need to figure out like some mod that makes Crusader Kings harder. What are we doing here? We passed this thing in. This actually should be called Hero Prefab. I don't know. That's not a. I need to rename that because that's from some old code that I've learned, or that I've learned since. I learned more since then, and I changed how I name things. So for each one of these checkboxes, we're going to go checkbox disabled equals true. So all this is going to do, let's put a summary on here so that I can remember later. Disables all checkboxes except scavenge. And then we needed to skip 0. I think it skipped 0. What time period? What, are you taking it back off the shelf? Territorial. I don't know if I've heard of that game. Territorial video game. Territorial.io. We were just talking about web development. Oh, that's it. I figured I had this all blown up. A lot of times I have this blown up. What is this? Oh, that I clicked that. That's what that is. All right, player, whatever. Can I just do a? No, I don't want to do multiplayer. Is it all multiplayer? Custom scenario. Whoops. Went too far. Custom scenario. Battle Royale. Play. Is it really 500 players? Like AI players or humans? I'll have to check this out. There's our exit. Choose your starting position. Oh my god, this is intense. Part of oh shit, it's like real time. Can I pause it? I'm gonna put a note down because I'm gonna forget. Let me put it in another thing though. Territorial.io. Actually, let me. So it's right there. One of the things I love about strategy games, and just in general, video games, is learning how to play the video game. It's one of my funnest. One of the things I enjoy about video games is learning how to play video games. Wait, it just said I saw something flash up over here. It says that my audio is fucked up on YouTube. I don't know if I believe it, but maybe I should. One day I like after I'm done with my streams, sometimes I'll go through and like spot check them. And for like, so my streams are usually 3 hours. For like an hour, I was all blurry and I never noticed. Good to hear. That's sometimes YouTube's a little weird. All right, I need to pass in a thing here. So what are we doing? We're disabling all these. Check for available activities. We need to pass in a hero panel container, and we're going to call it hero prefab for some reason. And then we're going to pass this thing in here. Hero prefab. And then we're going to do this. This will disable all, hopefully, except for the scavenge checkbox. Then we're going to go back up to here where we have this big pile of garbage. We're going to have to pass in this hero prefab. And then we're going to go back over here. So all we need to check for is what? We just need to find one. And if one is available, then we'll... max workers. I think if we do... No, that won't research... Where am I going here? I think what we were doing is yeah, so we have zero warehouses can't have workers. So that will, if we say max workers, if we have, I need to relay. Why is this max worker in with the construction heading? We need to put another group, export group in here. So if we look for if county improvement why aren't you being my friend here? County improvement data dot max workers, is greater than 0 and county improvement data uh, type. Let me look at this one. I got to look at research. Awesome. Thank you. It it could. It's always like the fear I have is that like I'm streaming and like the sound's off. Or one time, this is like when I first started streaming like years ago, I started streaming and I had hidden, I had like turned off my display capture like that. And so I turned it off to check something. I streamed for like 30 minutes with no display capture on. I'm still embarrassed. It's just a black screen. Luckily, I didn't have any viewers. I think we want. Okay, so this is faction resource type. That's what I needed to check there. And like that fear is still there, like that it's possible and is not equal to research. And I actually want to put this down here. Then no, I know. Isn't that the craziest part though? I was watching somebody recently. I forget who it was, but they were somewhat big. Someone who had like a couple hundred viewers, and they were same exact thing. Like people were like, "You're muted. You're muted." Yeah, it's weird. Like I always assume that if you get to a point where that shit stops, but no. And luckily you just have like a community that will tell you that there's something wrong. When I first started too, a couple years ago, like obviously things were like kind of fucked up a little bit, and I needed adjustment. There was like one person who was really nice about it, and then there was a few people who would come in and just be dicks, just be total dicks. Uh, so if this is there's greater than 0 max workers and it's not research in the faction type, then we should be able to go hero prefab dot checkbox. Oh, we're gonna have to use this stupid. Should we do an enum for these? There was a reason why I didn't do an enum. Oh, because they would be. These are in alphabetical order, and it would throw off the other things. So the problem is that now I gotta remember which checkbox this is with its number. Luckily I know right now, but it's 1. Disabled equals false. So that will turn that checkbox on. I'm gonna put a note above this. I think we might want to go to enums though. We could just do hero checkboxes. This is work. Come on. I think actually I'm going to take a quick break. I didn't notice that an hour had already passed. I'm going to take a quick break and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me throw up my break timer and let me pause my music that you guys can hear, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Oh yeah, I was trying to not say okay all the time. Forgot that was a rule that I put on myself there. I turn on my break timer, turn it off. So what are we doing? So this will make it enabled if there's any uh, county improvement. Let's run it. Let's test it. Is this thing in the right spot? Put my phone on this charger that I have. Every phone I get, the charging cord stops working after like 2 months. I have to get I had to get one of those things you put your phone on. Well, it turned them all off. Oh, and there isn't anything to be made there yet. So let's construct something, and then we will run it until this thing is done being built. So that works, but we do need to refresh this. I guess when a thing is done being completed being constructed, just in case we're sitting on it like I just was. So that is going to be under county data, maybe. Let's see. I can't remember what it's called. It's complete something. That's going to be an end of day, so we're in the right spot. Complete something. I'm going to comment this out. I want less crap in my logs there. So if this moves this thing here, where did I put this? Let's put under here. Let's refresh. I think I have an instance. I know it's bad. No, that we didn't want that. County info panel control instance update something. Update everything. I think we'll do the trick. Let's see here. So that heroes checkboxes are enabled or disabled. I need more notes. My terrible memory. I need 1,000 more notes. Everything needs a goddamn note. And then also when I search for it, I have more options to find, though that doesn't necessarily mean a good thing, because then I find things I don't want to find. So when this thing's completed, there we go. So that is, skip didn't work. I need to skip 1, I think, not 0. Where the fuck was that? That was under, I think skip 0 does nothing. That was under here. Yeah, I need to skip 1. And let's run this again, because you always are going to be able to scavenge, I believe. Otherwise, we'll have to go through that array and be like, no, this one we don't do. Yeah, so that works too. So then we got to do the same thing with build, but the build's actually going to be easier. Well, it's similar. We could, where did this thing go? I have a lot of just empty spaces. I guess it's not that bad. Can't find anything in my own code. So this one will be, we should probably break these into smaller things, but if it's actually going to be in here, if county data dot, I think that it's under construction improvements dot count is greater than 0, then we're going to, this is going to be build. Then this, though, you know what we should have done? If that's constructed, it does it there. No, that's not going to work. We can get rid of this stuff. These notes are done. We're done with those notes. And we actually could put this up here, though. And this up here. Then we got to update this as well when this is kind of, let's see. Let's pretend like we're gonna do this. Let's rerun it since did I save this shit? I think it doesn't matter. So we're gonna go to build here, yeah, because we opened up a new panel. So when we go to this construction thing, there's no way to, oh, it didn't work, but there's no way to get to this. Oh, maybe we don't update this. Maybe this is not getting updated. That other panel is just opening on top of it. I bet you it is. So what we need to do is when we change visibility on our county improvement panel, do I have a, yeah, we need to update the, we're doing this kind of a lot, updating everything. But let's see. We probably needed that in there forever. So when this visibility turns false, which is it's turning off, we need to update this stuff. County improvement, construct. There we go. So now we have build. So you have two choices now, scavenge and build. We're not going to look at these, just don't look at this. Then research. We need another thing that checks. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna see what ChatGPT says about making this less ugly. I think probably we need methods for each one, but then we'll do research. We actually already have this up here. We're already going through it, so we might as well have this if we can do this with a switch, I suppose, too. Equals this. Then we're going to go. See, once again, I don't like this number. I should really just do an enum. Because now I have to go look. What is research? 0, 1, 2, 3. Not 34. And that's completed. Where did I have that check? I guess, yeah, that's fine. Let's run this again. Make sure I save this shit. So we're going to construct a research office this time. Build is working. Bam, it's done and it kicked in. And build went away too, which is what we wanted. And then what is this last one? Can we get a tooltip? Explore. Well, we don't have the ability to explore yet, so that's just going to be turned off completely. Explore is going to be special. But I think what we're going to want to do actually is move explore to the front. This is going to fuck everything up, but we can fix it. It's not, we just got to rearrange some stuff. So that, because explore is always going to be available. Yeah, explore, from what I can think of here, explore is always going to be available as well. So we'd have the two things that are always available, scavenging and exploring. And then we can have it skip to, or we could do a thing where we go through and we say skip, make this one. I think it'd be easier. So let's think about it as the player. I know all this is ugly and temporary, but let's think as the player. If there's something that's always going to be available, it's probably you'd want them next to each other. Because otherwise, I mean, it's not the end of the world. What are you going to be doing the most of? You're probably at the beginning of the game, you're going to have your hero explore a lot or scavenge because you're building and work. Well, it's actually, it could be a bunch of different options depending on what you're doing. So yeah, there's options there. I think we should move this though. Or we can just put, it actually doesn't really seem like it matters that much right now. When we do the beautification process, we'll have to do, let's not skip then. Let's do this and we'll say, we're going to, for each one of these, if hero prefab, if checkbox is equal to hero prefab 0 is not equal to hero prefab. We need this. I'm doing this wrong here. Hero checkbox 0, or I'm going to move this down here. Oh, I'm actually, I think I have it at 220. I don't know. Or three. Is that what we? 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, we got to do an enum here, right? We have to. And we're just going to make this more complicated as we do this. So I've brought this up a bunch of times recently, but I started playing extraction shooters, and I always thought that there was just something inherently wrong with an extraction shooters, like they're filled with cheaters and bugs and stuff. But it turns out it just like the communities around an extraction shooters are just a bunch of assholes. Oh, we gotta rerun this. And they're just constantly, they're like these wannabe macho basement dwellers that just get pissed about anything, and they just enrage, and they're usually they're like the stereotypical, you hear like the gamer stereotype, and it's like blowing my mind how crazy that is. And there was a reason I was bringing that up. What the fuck was my reasoning for bringing that up? All right, this is not working. What did I do wrong? For each checkbox, it'll come to me. It'll come to me while I was bringing that up. What am I doing wrong? It will always return true. The fifth checkbox. Oh, yeah. That means one of these will always be true. Yes. You need and. See, this is good. Like I said, I don't think it's going to replace anyone's job. I mean, it probably will, but it would be a bad idea because it doesn't know what we're actually trying to do. It doesn't know anything. ChatGPT doesn't know anything. Yeah, why was I bringing up the community of extraction shooters? I had like a point I was gonna get to, and then I forgot. Okay, there we go. And then Explore shouldn't do anything right now, even though I mean it's gonna say that the guy's exploring, but it's not gonna actually do anything. Let's see if we run it if we get bugs. Yeah, we do. Because there's no. Oh look, I put it. Look at this error that I put in here. It's definitely. I'll leave it like that. So this is how much time passed? That happened immediately. Get research by activity. What is this? This is an older. Why would it kick this off right now? It shouldn't do it at this time. Unless I have like a getter setter in for look at these nodes. This has to all be rewritten. Well, not 100%, but then we're gonna have to rewrite how the AI is picking and stuff, and it currently throws an error. This shouldn't be doing anything for. All right, so it gets to here and it throws this, which does make sense because there is. But why is it checking get research by activity? Assign passive. Oh, but it shouldn't be doing that. It should do that in the beginning of the day. Let's run this again and double check what caused that, because maybe there's a different bug happening, and it just happened to be that I noticed it after I maybe I did let it run long enough. I did. Okay, so it is the beginning of the day that it's doing this. So this is for passive research. I'm going to rename this. And so what we need here is explore. What population is researching? So this is hitting the heroes. The heroes are getting research. So this is the passive research. So all of our research, there's two different types of research in this game. One is where like everyone just kind of trickle generates research, and then there's you select and you get to pick. And this is like part of the process of them picking what they're gonna trickle research. And we actually did change. I think we did this. I think this was already changed. But maybe not. I'll leave it in there just in case. So what do we got here? Scavenge, idle, move. Explore should be in here. Yeah, we have some random thing in here. We'll have to double check this when we go back through it. If they're at idle, scavenging, or moving, they get random research. Let's put explore in here just out of laziness. And this seems to be in no order at all. So we'll leave that in no order. That should solve that problem. I'm glad some of the old code I wrote is still usable, even though we are going to rewrite part of that. Like, at least I can just throw in a thing. We don't want that. We want to go to here. Okay, so it's probably, there's some basic research. Yeah, there's research is getting assigned to things there. So that works, except that doesn't actually do anything. That's what we're kind of working towards, but once we get the activities all working, then we're going to go to the inventory, but this is pretty good. So for the army leader part, we got to make a decision here. We've kicked this stuff down the road far enough. I think we want to get rid of army leaders. What is this? Let's check this error first, I guess. What was this top thing? This is right now. So if we set them to research, we're throwing some errors. So let's do it. We can't. Wait, didn't we just make a decision that Did I talk about that and then do the opposite? I totally did. For heroes, they can always research. That's one of their key things here. But I'm having it go through the county. Jesus Christ. I literally just talked about that like 30 minutes ago, and then I did literally the opposite. So we need to go back to here. We need to go into this thing, and we need to have it. We need to have another and in here. Whoops, those are dollar signs. And we'll just copy that, and we'll make this a 3. So the hero can always research, can always... I think we need to put a note in here. When a hero starts moving, it needs to... Actually, I think it already will. Let's test it. I think it's already going to. What I'm thinking about is, so this guy's set it, this is perfect. He's set to explore. When he moves, he needs to be set to move, and he is, so we don't need to worry about that. All right, back to this thing. At this point, we should have done it the other way. We're having 3 checks. We should have just said those 2. It's just those 2 that matter. All right, so let's set this to here because it said we were getting a bug. And he is set to explore. I don't know what that was. Did I accidentally hit the open? Okay. Object not set to an instance of a reference on research 104. What population is researching? So this is actually where we're at. It thinks it's in combat. No, it's set to research. Drink some of my last of my cold gross coffee. That's suddenly very sweet. So what population is researching? Get research by interest type. We're passing in We're passing it. Oh, I didn't copy over the thing to ChatGPT. Oh, we'll do it later. Or not at all. I think I do that. I think I do it every time now. I say I'm going to do that, and then I don't. Okay, I see the problem. This is the problem. So when we click it on research, we click that checkbox to research. It doesn't actually have a current research item data for the population because it doesn't actually assign them a thing yet. So this is what we're going to have to do is either we're going to have to jump in and fix some research stuff right now, or we have to kick this error down the road. So the way the plan that it was going to be was that each research office, I guess we don't have a research office built, so it's not going to work, but you would be able to pick, well, I guess it's all turned off. We're missing our there's an assign researcher button. And so I was going to have it where each research office could pick different research, but it dawned on me later that like in late game, you would have like 50 of them, 100 of them, and you'd have to go through and adjust all of their research all the time. And you'd have to have a separate panel, and then you'd have to scroll through all that crap. And I decided I didn't like that. So what we're going to have instead is we're going to have you select one research. You know, we can put the button right here on this panel, and you just click it. And that's what it's going to research. And then all the research offices, maybe we would have it at the top. We would do something, but that's kind of like a major rewrite for the research area. So I don't know if I want to jump into that yet. I've been having this problem where I have a branch and then I keep jumping around and it takes 6 months, 4 months to get that branch closed because it's actually I've been jumping all over the place. So let's try not to do that this time. This is not, we can't ignore this. I'm going to put a note in of what it is. This is happening because no research is assigned to the population. There isn't. No, I'm not. I was like, this is we could do it with a getter setter, and we can blah blah blah. To the hero population. This is happening because no research is assigned to the hero population when the player checks the research box. I think we're going to have to kick this down the road for a little bit. And what we'll do is we will put this over here because it's coming up. We still want to do the saving loading. Spawn heroes. Okay, so let's fix this other bug that we noticed earlier. Let's turn you into a... Do we want to fix this other bug? I guess we do. Let's turn you into an army leader and see what happens here. Let's get this up so we can see when the bugs start. Let's clear that, I guess. Let's spawn you. And so the thing happens immediately. I bet you, because we messed with some switches, I bet you the switch isn't, it's updating in one part, but we're not using it when this is happening. So that's when you declare war. So let's go to our declaration of war, which I think is somewhere. Yes button. This is back when I was kind of getting the idea of how these things work, but I didn't do it right. It works, but it's just not very... There's a better way to do this, and we'll change this when the war starts, when we have a real war here. But this is like a basic... This has almost nothing in it, but it's going to have a bunch more information in this public class. So we diplomacy there, start moving. So what is spawning these guys? Respond to declaration of war. Like some of this stuff is okay. It definitely needs to be majorly rewritten. War is going to change completely eventually. Faction war, faction war, war. Sorry, I'm laughing at. What are we doing? We're adding these wars to the list. Well, here's this. I don't know where this is happening, but so it looks like the token spawner is the problem. Because this is supposed to, it's checking for armies, and that's what it's supposed to do. It's like, is there an army in here? And there isn't one. So it spawns this, and it's like something to do with the spawning. It's missing its texture. Because I think it's actually here. We could look, actually. This is going to be under some bizarre place, though. No, actually, it doesn't. I keep saying actually all of a sudden. That is, what's the name of this place? Tillamook? That's where I get my ice cream. Tillamook. County overlay. Cheryl? Yeah, so Cheryl's here. Her sprite's turned on, but the texture is empty. So what is going on with no texture here? We fucked around with this last weekend, I think. I think this is missing the faction leader option. I see a faction leader option. Does it tell us any information when we do this? Update button icon hero texture sprite texture is missing right there in our. So where the hell is that thing? Update hero something something copy something paste go. Update button icon. We were getting this bug last time. And so that's why I put all this information in here. So the population data hero token sprite dot texture is missing, huh? And we were getting that bug, and I thought that this was telling us that we didn't have that bug, or that we did something, but it must be. So we're setting the texture for this is for the buttons icon, and this isn't failing because there's no texture here, but where the fuck is this texture? Oh, right, we changed this from drag and drop. What is this spawn token button? So this is getting run when the spawning is happening even automatically. So we're not pushing a button for this to happen. This is being run by the back end stuff because this is here. Why are we not having texture though? I wonder if it's like a getter setter sets this or something. This is it? How about sprite.texture? Current okay. Assign token textures. So this is where this is supposed to happen, is right here. They should always be getting this unselected texture. And then I put in this return here. What's going on here? I bet you there's nothing. What is it? What am I doing here? So in this, I'm assigning... Down here, I'm assigning these are being assigned from this. You know what the problem is? I think we just need to do that. This is bizarrely different than this. Like, we're assigning the texture here, but I'm going to do something else, actually. Maybe. So this texture is always going to be unselected because you can't. It's an AI token. It's not your token. So you can't. It's always going to be unselected. So that's what that is doing. But it's interesting. I don't have the hero thing. Like between the check between a hero and an army. Speaking of that, we got to turn you into an army. See, that yes is on the left. One of these has the yes in the wrong spot. And there it is. So that fixed that problem, but so we would actually need this though to check if it is an army. Like if these things would need to be different, they would always just need to be unselected. What happens if we just take this out? I'm curious. And it just does it all the time with that. Like, why does it need... If we can't select it, it should always be unselected. Maybe the problem was that we were running into is like it was putting the selected one in there or something. We'll find out here in a second. Yeah, see, it's right there. Declare war on faction... See, this yes is on the other side. Which side do we want it on? Yeah, this still works. Did I save this? Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need this in here. And this is the wrong icon. There should be a army icon. Because this is an army. The problem is, I think we were doing this because it's confusing, like when this guy gets here. It's confusing, but we were going to work on that later. Yeah, like this is confusing too. We were going to work on, see, this is the army thing. Yeah, I think we were going to fix this later so that it's easier to tell who's what, when, and where. Like, this is very confusing, like who's your hero, who's the other one, and these are backwards. I remember this being a problem for a long, like I was going to fix it later. This needs to be on the right, and this needs to be on the left. And then up here we need some sort of tooltip probably that, or a name. We need something. Oh yeah, I forgot about my battle log. You can click on this and you get a battle log. And then it should, yeah, and then we won. And everything still works there. So that, I guess that temporarily fixed that. Easy enough. This is fixed, but when we update combat, no. Sort of. This is fixed, sort of. There we go. Close with combat. Or with combat, with comments. Alright. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Alright. This is way down the list. We're just doing activities right now. Heroes can't use the current activity while in a county they don't own. Heroes can't use current activity while in a county they don't own. That should already be working. Let's restart it. Well, you know, no, because he's an army leader. Man, are we just going to get rid of the army leader concept? It seems like we probably should. Whoops. I'm still on autopilot of going to there. So let's put scavenge on. We already tested this and we saw that this goes to scavenge, but then let's spawn the guy and then let's move him over here because this won't declare war because he's not an army leader. This is still on scavenge though. So that's a right click. That's like under player controls or something. We need to update the thing again. We sure have a lot of these updates, and I think there's got to be a better way to do this than me manually typing in this shit. Basically, when you right click, well, when it kicks into move, we need to update the county thing, the county info panel. This is really old code too. Update everything. Let's do this again. We sure are updating that thing a lot. Probably doesn't matter. I always worry too much about processing power, but I feel like, like in a Paradox game or whatever, you click on something and there's like this big lag. So when I was playing EU4, I did a claim on Korea, right? So I was China and I claimed one of their provinces, and you assign a diplomat, and then it takes a certain amount of time for it to happen. And so it happened, or no, you have to build a spy network, and then when you get your spy network points above a certain level, which is like every day it goes up or something, every month it goes up. So I assigned my spy network thing in the middle of the month. I turned on the thing so I started generating the points that I needed in the middle of the month. I finally got the points that I needed to claim something in the middle of the month, so I claimed it. And then nothing happened. And, it spent the stuff, it spent the points, but then nothing happened. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, did that claim not do anything? Like, is it busted? Well, so then I gave up. I looked it up on the internet and stuff, and it was like, where is this? Like, do I have to have something special where I get a Casabella to declare war on Korea? Then I gave up and I just let the game run. And then when the month rolled over, it kicked in and gave me the Casabella. So I thought that was interesting that they didn't have something that immediately checked to give you the Casabella. I think I'm saying Casabella wrong, pronouncing it wrong. But I thought it was interesting that they didn't have an event or whatever that kicked in and told you that you got it. You had to wait for the month to end, where it ran a bunch of shit at the end of the month, where it checked and it said, "Oh, now you have then it gave you the Casabella." And I was curious why they did it that way, because there's a couple of different reasons why I don't think, and obviously I don't know shit about anything, but I think you would not want it to do it that way. You would want it to fire when that happened. Is one, you're taking off the load of the month. Like at the end of the month, a bunch of shit runs. And so it's actually like a problem when you have a mediocre computer that every month there'll be like a hiccup. It'll be like, and then it'll continue on because it's running all that stuff. But I'm curious, they're obviously professional developers. So I'm curious why they did it always on the end of the month where it's doing like a check. I was wondering what the logic behind that was, as in logic, the human logic, not the, what the fuck was I testing? Moving. Update everything. We have him on scavenging. We're going to spawn him. We're going to move. And that turned off. That's perfect. And well, let's double check. This also says move. Yeah, so it's weird that some of them do it and some of them don't. And I was actually really surprised with that one, because I was also very eager to invade Korea. I was like, had all my troops at the border, had my ships were all ready, and every second that passes that my ships are sitting idle and not giving me money. I mean, in China, you get so much money, it's crazy. But I was all ready, and I was like, why can't I declare war? And it's weird. And so it seems like Yeah, I don't know why they would not just have it happen right away. Maybe there's probably like I said, they're professionals. Uh, there's probably a very legitimate reason not to have it fire right away. Like maybe it triggers and it could slow down other things, but you get a pop up that I don't think it pauses the game either. You probably could tell it to pause the game because that has all those. EU4 has all those options for messages. All right, so that fixed that thing. So after we tested that, what the hell were we doing? Oh, we need to make sure that they can't actually use any of this stuff when they're over here. No, Korea was their own thing. They were just nothings. They were just on their own. And I thought they would be too, honestly. I was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to start. You know how in EU4 you can just like butter them up for long enough and eventually they'll become your vassal? Or sorry, you can just kind of absorb them. I was like, all right, first thing, absorb Korea. And then I was like, wait, these guys are independent. They're just chilling. Okay, so this is set. We can't do anything with this guy. That's what we were making sure. Eventually, we'll want like a spy thing. But once again, maybe we should have the spy thing over at the beginning, and you select that before you go in. So let's go back over to this. And that one, we would get rid of the army concept. This is right. So this is closed. But let's put a new one. For hero activities such as raid or spy, though we were going to say spying was, we're going to say scout or scout. I'm going to put in quotes. Spying is what diplomats do. So the spies, if you're a spy, you just go in and chill out in there, and that's spying. Or scouting. For here, such as raid or scout, does the player pick that option before they go into the enemy county? So think, once again, back to Paradox, CK3, you pick raid before you go in there, before you go into the enemy. You put them on like the raider stance or whatever. And that's what or do you move in and you hit raid? It's the whole thing's, I don't think you'd want that though, because it'd be like a betrayal. They go into the county as diplomats and then you click raid? I don't know. Yeah, merchants too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is. Because and we've talked about this before. Like the classic spy concept is like a guy, dressed up like a ninja, like creeping around. It's not how it is in real life. In real life, you like just compromise people, and you get P tapes or whatever. Update hero info needs to be moved to populate the data when the hero box is instantiated. So I looked at this before I started streaming, and I thought, what the fuck am I talking about? So let's copy this and search. Update hero info. What do I want? What did I tell my future self? Needs to be moved to populate the data when the hero box is instantiated. So here's all this stuff. Where is it currently? It is here. Here's where it's being instantiated. I think what I was talking about, I think I know what I was talking about here. I think what I was saying, yeah, stealing letters, reading them, and then resealing them, because they had the seals that were probably quite easy to have carefully cut open, and every movie from the Renaissance has someone like peeling back the seal and then sealing it. They just heat it up in front, or they put it in front of a candle and can read through the envelope. Or I guess it's not even an envelope, it's just like a folded piece of paper. So I think what I was talking about here was moving this to this. Then on ready, we would get all this information. We would update the information. Why wouldn't we want to do it that way, though? We have a population in here, population data in here. Just cleaner? Was that just being anal? This is in the county info control. Oh, definitely. You know, and like leaders had their special seal that only they were supposedly had access to. And I think they even had like, you know, I carry the nobleman's seal type thing. I like in Warhammer Fantasy, there's like a counterfeiting character in the first edition. And one of their things is they have like they cut a coin in half, like down the not in half this way, but like in half long ways, so that they're passing out coins that are only one sided. I always thought that was funny. You know, like you guys know what I'm talking about. They're cutting down the edge. So I think what is this? It gets the name from it. Yeah, we could just move this over. So what we would do, just to get this out of here, I think is the idea. That we had, or I had. So this would be on public override ready. We would, this probably could be private. I don't know why this would be. We would update our hero info. And we would do that. We don't actually. Because we're inside the prefab right now. We could get rid of this. And we could just go. I was hoping it was going to auto. There we go. You don't want to do this for me? It's too confused. I think this is all we need to do here. Come on. I should have commented the other one out first because we might, you know, oh my God, this isn't going to work and have to go back. All right, so this is the update on ready. Yeah, I was reading about silver standards. This is another Reddit post. Silver standards, or no, maybe it was, I don't remember where I was reading. But there was like standards of how much nickel was in this silver. And, you know, like certain places when they minted coins, they were saying like they had an official, speaking of stamps, I think it was like an official stamp that this silver was 96% silver or whatever. And, you know, like that, it's a counterfeit because you were just trusting that the silver you were getting wasn't 50% nickel or whatever. And that would be like, yeah, shave off some so you get a little bit of silver so it's like heavier, maybe add some lead in, I don't know, make it shiny. All right, so this should now, yeah, because we're setting this here. This might actually happen too fast, but we'll see. Oh, no, that's not going to work. This needs to be... That's not going to work. I wonder if it's not even worth fucking around with this. I don't think it's worth fucking around with this. It's like I'm adding extra work for no apparent reason. This isn't going to work either because it's not on ready. We would have to do like on tree enter or something. Because ready is when it is instantiated, and we actually can't assign this population data before it's been instantiated. So then we would have to do it like on tree enter. Then it would do this. And then it looks like we're updating this. It update selected hero. Oh, because we use this in another spot. All right, we'll just put it back. Out of pure, we should probably do it differently, but we'll not worry about it right now. Like why? Don't fix what's not broken or whatever. And we actually could. Let's go back. Let's just go back here. Let's Control Z our way to freedom. Whoops. We should be able to Control Z our way, yeah, to this thing being gone. Look at that. We're almost there. There's probably an easier way to do this. I probably could have just changed like some of the... There we go. Yeah. Like it's the same thing as like the worth of the dollar. Like you could trade, and I think they also would do, like I'd rather have these coins because they're, they have more silver. They a lot of fantasy and like sci-fi books kind of do that where they say like, well, pay me in Corpo bucks. I rather have Corpo bucks instead of USD because the Corpo bucks are worth, more stable or whatever. We're gonna Control Z our way out of this over here too. I think that's all we needed. Can it really? Public? Static? So if that's the case, we can get rid of that instance. Now I just changed around a bunch of shit here, so I wonder if... So we could just go... like that then. When I was taking a anthropology class, they were talking about like trade in North America way back, before the Europeans came, and like there's a lot of trade of different like food stuff. And one of the things that he actually had like a pot that was used to carry the stuff for trade, and the pot was probably like 50 fucking pounds. The thing was huge and it was thick, and I was like, the value of the pot has to be more than the value of the content, like the contents. So it must be like, what were they? Were they bargaining? Like, were they just trading pots? Like, oh, you get my pot, I get your pot, and like it's because it was so heavy, and they'd have to carry that thing. Like, let's say they made like a nice backpack for it, that was just for that one pot. They would still have to carry it for miles. And I think about that occasionally, like, what if the value of the container is more than the value of the contents? Like at some point, like maybe it was really easy to make pottery back for that particular group of people. I don't think it was though. All right, let's run this again and see if I broke anything. Yeah, it is. There is like uses for stuff. Yeah, was there? And I have no idea. Was there ever like an antiquity? Was there uses for gold besides just it's shiny and pretty? All right, this is working. And this is the other thing that was throwing it off. Well, that's the thing. If it is the big ass pot, plus you get the bonus of the food or whatever, like the grain, it makes more sense. And I don't remember. I think his answer was that yes, they were definitely trading the pots because they were so heavy. But I was curious, was the food that valuable? Because if you know, talking about gold, if it was filled with gold, like what is the food that they're moving around? All right, so we're gonna get this off the list just because it doesn't need to go anywhere. I should have done this here, and then I'm gonna take a quick break. We're gonna move this down. In the population list, we do need that. We do need that. Add checkbox in here, panel for work. I'm gonna edit this. We already did that. But we do need this happiness bonus to all population and counting if hero is scavenging, working, or building. And we actually haven't double checked that their activities actually are doing anything. I keep saying actually all of a sudden. Now I went from okay to actually. We already did this. Did I really not want armies in the population list? They currently are not on the list. I think they probably should be. Show the hero show in the county population. If you right click, I think we fixed this. This doesn't do it. It was intended. It was intended not very good. It's not a very good intended mechanic, but that's how it's supposed to work. Even though I don't like it very much. Make sure the hero activity reflects what they're actually doing. We already checked that like 6 times. We're not going to add like 1,000 of these things. They're all like duplicates. Disable spawn button when a hero has been spawned. The fuck are you talking about? We need the spawn button. This must be really old. No, it's 205. Does it put any notes in here? What am I saying? This is going to be broken until we allow unspawning. Close. We did it. The pod itself is more productive than just the food or whatever that is carried on the one or even several trips required selling it because it could be used for who knows. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing that was, and some of it, you know, some of it they weren't trading. So there was and I forget what it's called. And I remember somebody in chat recently came and told me what this was called because I can't remember what it is. But basically, a lot of the trade and not a lot, some of the trade was they actually didn't have. So it was like gift giving. So they would meet up with another group of people and they would be like, "Oh man, I love you guys," and they would try to outgive the gifts to the person, and it was trade, but they weren't actually like if one side didn't have anything, they would still give the best stuff they had. Let's say they only had sticks. They would just give, "Here, look at my beautiful stick. It's yours." And then the other side would be like, "Look at all this stuff we have." And it would be like a gift giving thing though. They weren't going for value. So it's even weirder if like they carry this pot all the way over and I mean not weirder. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna take a quick break and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. I'm gonna stop my music that you guys can't hear and put that up. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Trayson, how's it going? Uh, so it's for my game here. Let me turn on my break timer. It's for my game here for their activities. If they can't do it, then don't let the player select the activities. And it's these things here. So there's no place for them to work. Let me turn on my music that you guys can hear. So there's no place for them to work. So the player shouldn't be able to select it. Right? We actually already did that part. It was surprisingly easy. Yeah, they can do research, they can do exploring, and they can do scavenging, even though this icon looks like looting. And Lord Mac, I think you're onto something there with the pot thing. They bring a pot full of grain, they trade it to someone like Tupperware, and then they get the pot back. They get the pot back when the next time they run into them, or they pour out the contents into someone else's pot. But I was thinking, like, if one person brought, dried fish, and the other group brought grain, they wouldn't want to pour one out and then, fill the other one. Yeah, before Tracing, before on this, you could just select any of these, and it dawned on me that you shouldn't be able to select the ones that you can't do. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Some of these, it's very tight. I don't like that. I don't like how tight this is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so they would give the pot to the person or the pallet or whatever, and then they would get one from the other person. Sorry, excuse me. Tracing about 2 years, but I only put 6 hours a week in, so not very long in the grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of man hours. I don't know. What were we on? Episode 210. Do a little math here. 210 times 3, 600 hours. Yeah, I only work on the weekends, and I stream every time. So like 15 weeks, 16 weeks of work weeks, 16 work hours of work weeks. So what were we doing here? In the population list, we need an icon. That's true. I don't want to do it right this second. I did. I moved over from Uni, and that was a big setback because I didn't. So looking back though, switch over to Unity made me away from Unity, made me learn a lot more about how like C# and the library of Godot or whatever works. So it was, besides moving away from Unity, it was a good thing. Thank you, Trayson. And yeah, it's incredibly complicated. I'm learning as I'm going too. So it's probably 15 times a stream I comment on how crappy my old code was. I look at it and I go, holy shit, why did I write it this way? 4 months? 4 months is not bad at all. That's quick. I feel like that's really quick. Do you have a demo or anything? I like to, not always when I'm streaming, but add it to my list of things to check out. What type of cozy dinosaur game? Let's go through our list here. All right, so we do need to do that, but not this very second. Make it so that they can change from army leader back to aide. So I don't even know. I don't even know if we're gonna keep the army leader thing. So let's not do that right now. All right, this we need to do sooner than later, but this is, I guess that's activities. Happiness bonus to all population. All right, we need to do this. Needs to go up. Exploration is one of the main things that we're working towards here. That's like kind of the point of this. We'll put this up here. Did I really? We don't care about that right now. Wait, we don't care about that. When a hero is moving or maybe spawn, we should update their activity to what? This is ancient. So let's just close that. Are you doing the animations and stuff yourself? I struggle with the animations, man. Those things are the. Maybe have a node that is higher on the hierarchy so you don't have to drill down so far to see where the heroes are. We don't care about that right now. Pathfinding, we don't care about right now. We're gonna care soon though. If a hero is in transit, it needs to calculate if the next day's activity is moving or idle. Do we? Do we care about that? I don't know. We need to look at that. Check for when research or building county improvements will be done to set the population or hero to idle. Do we care about that? No, that doesn't apply anymore. We changed how we do things. But this is 362. It was like 6 months ago. Can't pause game if you're hovering over a spawn. Is that real? Is that true? Whoa, what was that? I didn't click anything. I don't think that's true anymore. That must have been some ancient shit. You have a little haven and you feed dinosaurs for coins and you use the coins to increase the cozy and cool rating by building. Cool rating as in temperature or like it's cool? Like as in hip? That sounds. I like building stuff in games. I mean, there's a building mechanic in this. Like hip. Yes. I like that too. Hero button should update when a spawn hero token. Is this like all ancient shit? It's all like 300 though. Hero button should update when a spawn hero token is clicked. What the fuck am I talking about? Oh, maybe it's talking about. That already is fixed. I think it's talking about this thing. When you click on this, it's supposed to, whoops, when you click on him, it's supposed to update this one. Oh, maybe it's talking about this one. Let's close it. I don't know what it is. So are you going to go with the dinosaurs are feathered or non-feathered? That's always the question, right? It shouldn't cost any influence to convert an aid to an army, or maybe it should cost a different amount for an. So, all right, that is something we need to deal with. Add morale bar to army tokens. Tooltip on the button or the hero should show their name. We definitely need that. Add label to hero button. Basically, we just need a better way to tell the heroes. Yeah, that's a thing we're gonna have to deal with too. Hero inventory. That's what we're working towards. That's what all of this is. Henchman army. When mover, it's really stuttery. So that's supposedly fixed. Let's test that again. Let's speed this up. It just did it one day and then it stopped doing it. And it only did it at like 8 times the speed that you could notice it. I guess it just fixed itself. I'm going to leave that in there. Non-feathered. I like that. You know, I'm pro the non-feathered because I guess I grew up in that. Wait, we're getting some bugs? Oh my God, not this thing again. Cannot access a disposed object. Not this garbage again. So that's gonna be. I grew up when they didn't have feathers, and so I like the looks of non-feathered ones. I mean, feathered ones are fine. I'm not against them. I just like the looks of the old school. Yeah, exactly. Of them being like reptiles that were a terror of the world. Huh. It didn't happen. Let's go over to here. Maybe it's when I move them that started to happen. Maybe when it was an army leader? What else did I do? I moved him like away. Let's make another person. I made a second one. And then I spawned the second one. And we'll move him over here. And we want you. I moved him around some. Let's see. I can't get it to happen again. Why does that always happen? You notice the bug and then you can't repeat it. I try my best with chat, with trying to keep up with chat. It's sometimes I miss things, especially, the thing that kills me is when sometimes Twitch will give people the same color name, and I'll get I'll just glance over and I'll see I think I'm talking to the same person, but in reality I'm talking to a different person. I just don't notice. Let's unspawn this guy. Let's move you back. Oh yeah, that was the original issue, is if you moved them back to where they started. Well, now I can't get it to happen. Sure, let's declare war. And then let's select you. I did click back and forth. So that's going to be a bug that's going to reappear later. And I'm going to have forgotten the work that I did last weekend to fix that when it was happening before. And then I'm going to have to go back through. Oh, there, wait. I think there's a different bug. What does this one say? Internal children front count cache. I don't think I've seen this one before. The county dictator has problems with this. The county dictator. Oh, did we win a war over here? We did. We did win a war. And that's when the county dictator broke, when we won this war over here. I have it set so that we always win the wars for testing. Because that's so this probably, I'm gonna guess that this has a problem because it's it works when it's selected. We had that guy selected, but I selected someone else and was moving around. So let's see what this is at 49 on the county dictator. I doubt I have the county dictator open. That seems like that would be. Now we're getting sidetracked again. Constantly getting sidetracked. The county dictator is not a public class. It's not a UI thing. Let's see. So it was what? What was your problem? Your problem was at 49? Yeah, awesome. Thank you for dropping by this time. And I always like to I really like when other game developers show up, because the thing that I was actually thinking about this morning too, is a lot of times people say oh, what's a 4X? And I'm surprised, you don't know what a 4X is? But then when they come in, they're a lot of developers are, oh, I'm working on this. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I shouldn't be you don't know what a 4X is? I mean, I don't say that. I think that in my brain. But it's nice to see what other people are interested in and what they're making, because a lot of people are putting a ton of time into stuff that is way out of what I normally play. So it's awesome to see other developers show up. All right, 49. What are we doing here? Okay, we're destroying a faction. Oh, maybe we haven't tested a faction getting destroyed. Oh, in a long time. I bet you we haven't. This select county should no longer be called select county, so let's rename that. That's old. That's old. I hope so too. Sometimes I leave them for the next stream, which I hate doing. Sometimes I'm stuck for 3 hours on one bug. I feel like I'm getting better and not letting that happen. So it's getting this child by faction ID, then it blows it away. And we're passing in a county. What was this actual bug? I don't think I recognize this guy. Get child. Capture county. County capture. Look at all these things that are referencing. It's like going through quite a lot of stuff. Destroy faction. County. So this is referencing this list. Let's look at our remote here. Here. And it couldn't get it. It should have got it by faction ID and then destroyed it. I wonder, I think I manually type this in. I'm almost positive I manually type in their faction. It's going to be under right here. Okay, those are all manual. I was looking at this thing. And what is this thing that it couldn't find a reference after that? So this is the same thing. I wonder how often we reference this faction generation? Wait, what? This is wrong. Faction generation. I think this is ancient code that we used to attach. Yeah. We used to attach these faction things to our faction generation. Yeah, there's nothing there. So what we need to do is, do we have it on here? Where does this thing? It's not on the county it's under globals or something. We have like a faction. We still have the faction datas here, but we should have like a faction parent. In fact, I'm gonna guess that that's what it's called. Faction pair. Okay. What about parent? County is parent. Factions parent. Here it is right here. Batman has no parents. What about like, isn't like Alfred like his adopted? Not officially, but didn't he like raise him? So this thing is what we really want. Where was that? We call that guard. Yeah, I guess that's true. He never called him like dad. That could be an embarrassing, like, Bruce accidentally calls him dad, and he's all embarrassed. Where is this thing? Spawn token button. Where the fuck is this thing? I was just looking at it. It was faction generation. There it is. So this should actually be globals. Factions parent. Factions something. Oh, I spelled factions wrong. All right, now we got to win a war. And we got to destroy the people to test this out. I rewatched those three, the Nolan Batman uh, trilogy, somewhat recently. The one with Heath Ledger is by far the best one. You know, I know that's not that's a pretty whoops. We don't want to do that. That's a pretty popular opinion, standard opinion. You see that shit that just happened? I clicked here and it didn't open up. I'm clicking, and that didn't open up. But if I like click like slightly off on some of these, no, I guess not. It's just you got if you're up above a little bit. Did I convert this guy to an? I did. We're gonna declare war. The last one, the Bane one, I wasn't that into. It was fine. Okay. Did we lose that battle? How is that possible? I must have turned off my cheat I was talking about earlier. Where the fuck was that? Where's my cheat? You know what I gotta do for that cheat is have like a checkbox in globals or something so I don't have to do this every time. And I'm totally getting sidetracked. I needed to stick to the hero stuff. It's like morale equals something. We're getting close. We're going to see something common. Here it is. Now we can't lose. You know, my original alias back in 1988 or something was the Dark Knight, but then the original Batman movie came out, and I didn't want to be because wasn't thinking Batman related. Okay, go over there. I mean, it was slightly inspired by Batman. Batman. I just like the Batman or the Dark Knight concept. You know, like of whatever. All right, that fixed it. We solved our problems there. So that was unexpected, and we fixed that. Well, we got 15 minutes. What can we do in 15 minutes? I think we need to stay on task here. We'll do these, but we'll... All right, so what we need to do, we'll just go through a check here of how this works. So what we need to do is make sure that when we select these items, yeah, basically that's what we're going to do is we're going to test stuff. When we select like scavenging, we're going to make sure that he's actually scavenging. And that will set us up for tomorrow where we'll have we'll put in a bonus for him, you know, your heroes doing it. So let's see, we got to go to 3 o'clock here. So 3 o'clock is past. How will we know that he has done anything? We can look at here. He's still set on scavenge. I don't think we're going to be able to tell unless we put in... we probably don't need this stuff happening all the time. I think that's in our clock. I was going to say, how many of these can we have? But I guess we have a bunch of them, and we didn't find the one that I wanted. Does this not have a colon? Oh, there's a space in there. We don't need these. Looks like we have no weekly things. So then if we go back to our county, what we're going to do is this. We're going to Do we have any GD prints in here? Here we go, right here. So that this will tell us it's only checking the hero list. So we, you know, the AI. I think the AI still will be picking things, but we just want to make sure that our hero, and we'll see their name here in a second, Philip King here. That's a good start. That's a good name for your leader. Whoa. Now we're just gonna look at Philip here. There's another Philip. Is that for real or do we have a bug here? Faction 3? Yeah, we did. I'm not a bug. Okay, so he's generating things there. So that works. We'll leave that one on. Next thing we need to check is build. Do we have a GD print in here? No, we don't. We're going to copy this. Or we might have one in here. So for build, we need to rerun the thing. Patiently wait. I'm really worried that it's going to be like 20 minutes at some point where each time you run it. You know, I see people editing like mods in for Paradox games, and they actually are modding it while the game's running. And I wonder how that works. Like, so they're editing text files, and then they like unpause their game, and it uses the new whatchamacallit logic. I think that's going to be something we're going to encounter here. So let's select build here. And let it go to 3 o'clock. I was looking around like that because I was a little worried that what's this person's name? Michelle? County start of day. Let's get rid of that one. We don't need that. Hopefully. So end of day, we should have hit this, and it should have went. Their activity is build. Oh, it doesn't say what they're building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not building anything. So this is not working. So that's our first thing we can set ourselves up for tomorrow. We can work on a little bit. So it's going down the list. It hits build. But the problem is, I'm betting, they don't have they're not getting assigned the building. Yeah, so it's hitting this. They don't have it assigned at this point. So what we need to do is go back to our start of day and make sure that they get the building assigned. And they also, so they should be a priority for building. So they should build, like if you set them to build, they should be, it's going to check them first, but they should come before the normal population. Assign people to prioritize improvements, or assign people to prioritize improvement. Find idle population. So I'm betting it's something in here. This is start of day? Yeah. Check for preferred work. Check for construction. We may want construction to come before work. Okay, so this is... But they're not going to be on the idle list, I think is the problem. So for start of day, It's weird we're doing this before idle. There must be a... Well, how does this work? Get prioritized workers list. And he's not in, your hero is not in this list. So it's going to skip, the hero here. And this is going to apply to work or building. Because I wasn't sure if we were going to have the hero even be able to do this. Yeah, same with this. And it's going to have to be different. So this one, it's like checking for, is this person loyal? Is this person idle? Are they unhelpful? Whatever. We're going to have to have a different thing, a different like method that deals with this. I was hoping we could use the same, we blow away possible workers right here. The same method for both. Let's pretend. So if the person is set to idle, which the hero should be set to idle, or can be set to idle, but it's not something we don't want him to. We want the player to have control over what, because otherwise they would, if you left your hero idle, it would automatically kick in and could make them build, could make them work. And I think we want to have the player have the ability to prioritize what we want them to do. Like, I'm pretty sure, that's what the plan is. So I think what we got to do is maybe have two different methods. They're going to be very similar. They're going to be very similar, but not that similar. They're going to be the same, but not the same. I wonder if we want to keep it broken apart too, just to kind of keep this more organized. There's a point where everything, like my spaghetti code is kind of getting, it's very confusing for me. So let's see here. Let's start with this one. See, we have to check a different list. And we know what their activity is going to be. Let's think about this from, like, let's pretend we didn't have this written, and how would we do it if we didn't have this written? Like, we didn't have the population. I would probably have it check down the list of heroes, and it would hit a switch. And if it was on scavenge, it would make them scavenge. If it was on build, it would make them build. And if it was on research, it would make them research, and same with explore. And it would only go through the list once. This is like generating a list of idle people. Let's do like let's do a method. So this is start of day though. How does it do it when we're back to end of day here? End of day is before start of day. I know it's confusing. Decide building improvements. Because their activity is already there. We already know their activity. We're back to that thing I was just looking at a second ago. Workday over. And see, we are checking this. I'm missing like a crucial step here. We're going through the hero list. And we already have a switch here. So why isn't this applying? Oh, because we don't have a current county improvement for, well, this is work though? Jesus Christ, now I'm just going in circles. Decide building county improvements. This is for like AI thing. Was that in county? Whoops. Was that in county AI? It was. We don't give a shit about that. End of day. Go through each here just like if they're a normal population, generate their work amounts. So we go through here. We hit build. Apply work per person. Why does build have apply work per person? Is that right? Current, oh, it does because we have this current county improvement. But they don't have a county improvement assign, which is what we already figured out 10 minutes ago. So we need to give them a county improvement that they need to be assigned to at start of day. So what we would do, we would have a new method that would be like assign hero to building to construction. I was trying to think if we could do it when we click the button. We actually could. When we click the button, it would just assign them to the first building that needs built. Look at, I did this, I deleted this and then to fix it, then I put it back the same way. I have a problem spelling ass, I guess. Yeah, we're going to change. I'm going to put a note in here. We're not going to do it this way. Or actually, I'm going to put it over here. And then I'm going to call it a day. I got to push my code anyways. What we got to do is when the player selects build via the activity box, it needs to assign the building. This probably also applies to research and work. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to boot off one, like let's say that's already, something's already being built and you click build and it's going to have to kick out one of the people, probably the lowest person. Irish butter, I don't think so. Is this something that's safe to Google? It seems like it could be something. Like it's a weird sex term. Yeah. Google that. Do it. Make sure your safe search is off. I don't know. Is it like I don't know what that is. Maybe I have. What is the taste difference? The countryside. Irish butter wiki. Oh, is it just butter from Ireland? Irish butter compared to American butter. Higher butter fat contents. Richer, creamier texture. And more pronounced flavor. Sourdough. Are you making sourdough? Or you're putting on the sourdough that you've like toasted or something. Because Jesus Christ, if you're making sourdough, oh, you lucky bastard. Homemade sourdough is so good, and homemade is even better. What did we do today? We made all buttons, all activity, all aid activity, buttons, updates, activities. I think this is like the same as last Sunday. You're allowed to learn how to make it. It was just, it seems like so much work. So I don't do much cooking because it always seems like so much work. Like I'll make egg burritos, update activities, made all 8 activity buttons, update activities correctly, and fixed an old war bug. And it has been pushed. All right, tomorrow I'm gonna try to stay focused, even though I like to just talk about food, Irish butter. That's what that's what one of the things I was thinking. Like, man, don't you need to have like a starter? No. It's not your bad. It's my bad. I wasn't criticizing you at all for bringing it up. It's my inability to not get sidetracked and talk about stuff. Man, we could talk about what's the thing potatoes. I love talking about potatoes. It's like one of any video game on my other channel. I haven't streamed on my other channel for like 2 weeks, but any video game that has potatoes in it, it's just I'm done. We just talk about potatoes because they're so good, and I bet you they'd be even better with Irish butter on them, right? It said it's a richer flavor. So I think potatoes are kind of like I call them butter delivery systems. With anything that really like toast is a butter delivery system because it's really just bringing the butter. Like you just put in corn on the cob. Like that shit's good, but it's so much better with butter. So it's just like a butter delivery system. All right. That is it for me today. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to get some more stuff done. But thank you once again, guys, for dropping by, and I will see you tomorrow. Probably. Oh wait! I was supposed to raid people. I'm trying to make myself do this every time. Let's look here. Let's see here. I don't even know how to do this still. I've only done it like 4 times. So let's see if we can find a Godot person. I'm gonna bring this over here. I don't know if you're not supposed to bring this over here. It's software and development. And Godot. What do we got? We want low viewers. And I like it with people with their face on there. Video game development, learning guitar, learning how to stream. This guy looks like he needs some love. He's been up for 1 minute. That's got to be an hour, right? No, because this person probably wasn't up for 43 seconds. Can I refresh this? I just want to see if the seconds are changing. Search filter, software and development, Godot. I know it's Godot. Low to high. Yeah, so that's minutes. I was worried for a second. Where was that one dude? He had a face. Was it this guy? Yeah, that's this guy. Let's raid this guy. What is his name? Tanner. Oh, no, he has an 88 in his name, though, man. That's so in this day and age, This might be some neo-Nazi shit. You don't even know. What does he look like? All right, maybe we'll skip him because of the 88 in there. Because, like I said, you don't even know. What about this person? Super Stew Guy. Making a game where you're basically Ebenezer Scrooge. All right, let's go to him. He doesn't have a Godot in there though. Is Godot in there? Yeah. It's the 8th letter in the alphabet, which is the 8th letter is H, and so it's short for Hail Hitler. Yeah, so like anything with 88 on it is like the one of the ways that they not very subtly communicate with each other. It doesn't say Godot, but did we do this guy last time? He didn't have a face last time, so we'll raid this guy. I don't know. All right, I'll talk. Yeah, I don't think it applies to sports jerseys, but let's start this, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, I think I got to click this twice. Like it does a thing, and then I do this. Once its countdown stops. All right, talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.